Welcome to the Red Hot Mess Conference, where sermons meet stand-up and pastors meet public meltdowns. Your weekly digest of holy chaos, where faith meets facepalm.
Good morning, America. It's Saturday, 7:30 a.m., and you know what that means. It's time for the Red Hot Mess Conference, where we document the weekly implosion of the new Independent Fundamentalist Baptist movement. Because someone has to, and apparently God looked at me and said, You're the babysitter now. I'm your host, Lionel Keros, and folks, this week was a master class in self-destruction. Grab your coffee, you're gonna need it. But first, a correction. Last week, we accidentally accused Pastor Shelley of being behind the NIFB Parody music channel. The screenshot clearly showed it was actually the Baptist Bias, controlled by Ben the Baptist. The mistake has been corrected and credit is now given where credit is due. To Jonathan, our apologies. You have enough problems without us adding to them. To Ben, congratulations on your promotion from anonymous troll to identified troll. I'm sure your mother is very proud. This week's top story, the Man of God movie rises from the dead. In news that surprised absolutely no one who's been watching this circus, Paul Wittenberger announced he's back in Phoenix to resume filming The Man of God, the documentary about Steven Anderson that has had more plot twists than a telenovela, more delays than a government project, and more trauma than a therapy convention. After Steven's children spent months airing his dirty laundry on everything from Satanist YouTube channels to Wally De La Fuente's vlogs, because apparently when you need to escape your dad, you don't call a therapist, you call a drag queen. They've now gone mysteriously quiet. Some, like John Anderson, have even returned to their parents in secret, because nothing says healthy family dynamics like sneaking back to your abuser while a documentary crew films your siblings. In photos released this week, we can see Isaac Anderson, notable for being the only Anderson adult son who doesn't suffer from what we're calling wardrobe confusion, sitting on a stool with cameras pointed at him, presumably being asked questions like, So, what was it like growing up with a father who made your sister sleep in a ditch? This movie's goal, according to Paul, is to shed light on the scandals and hypocrisy of the NIFB, which is basically what we do here, except with a better budget and apparently a superhuman ability to make Steven's adult children talk without them addressing any of their issues in therapy first. When questioned about whether the movie would actually come out this time, Paul replied, "Premieres at next year's ICFF." We are all impatiently waiting. Place your bets now on whether it actually happens, or if Steven throws another tantrum and we get The Man of God, Resurrection Part 3. Next news, Steven Anderson discovers Bible commentary and immediately regrets it. After spending literal years being the hardest preacher against Bible commentary, screaming that it's heresy, man-made garbage, and you only need the King James Bible, Steven Anderson has discovered something shocking. Bible commentary can be useful. Specifically when you need to defend an 80-time adulterer. That's right, folks. Captain Electrical Cord himself has suddenly decided that maybe, just maybe, those dusty old theologians had a point not about love, grace, or spiritual maturity. Mind you, about how men can't really commit adultery, so women shouldn't be able to divorce them for it. Let me repeat that, because I need you to understand the sheer audacity. Steven Anderson used Bible commentary to argue that adultery isn't really adultery when a man does it, therefore women shouldn't be allowed to divorce men for cheating. But men can totally divorce women, that's different, because reasons. And commentary, specifically the commentary he spent decades calling heresy. The context, he's defending Joshua Lunsford, you know, the 80 affair guy, the hypothetical 6-time cocaine user, the definite, confirmed, massive steroid consumer. That's the hill Steven chose. That's the guy he's quoting Keel and Delich for. Pastor Jimenez over in California saw this absolute train wreck and called Steven out for how vile the NIFB movement was becoming, especially regarding how they advocate women should be treated. Steven's response? I never said that. Followed immediately by, Jimenez is a liar for saying I said that. And then in a move that can only be described as advanced projection, Steven said, if we did a drinking game for every time Jimenez lies, we'd all die. Which is an odd thing to say in a movement where supposedly nobody drinks alcohol, especially since the only person dying so far has been Kevin, Steven's golden calf, his favorite cruise booker, his pride and joy. But sure, Stephen, the problem is Jimenez, not your total moral collapse, not your son in dresses, not your defense of the cocaine diaper, not your church losing 95 members last year. It's definitely Jimenez who's the problem here. The distraction from Stephen becoming a de facto LGBTQ dad continues, folks, and it's not going well. Then Stephen asks an absolutely hilarious question in what can only be described as a stunning lack of self-awareness. Stephen Anderson, sitting in his basement at 3 a.m., banned from his own bedroom, surrounded by memes and regret, asked a question. What is my big sin that I deserve to have my name trashed all over the internet? Stephen! Stephen, buddy! Pal. My brother in Christ who clearly skipped the self-reflection chapter. Let me help you out here. Is it the arson threats, the repeated doxings, the systematic attacks on your ex-best friends whenever you need a distraction? The daughter who chose a ditch over going home with you, the doxing of your own brother, the spousal discipline sermons, the commentary hypocrisy, the defense of an 80-time adulterer, the projection, the lies, the manipulation, the spiritual abuse. Should I keep going? Because I have a list, it's long. The resemblance between Stephen and a toddler who removed his diaper, smeared the walls, stole the candy, hit his sister, set the kitchen on fire, and is now asking, why is everyone mad at me, is so stunning that we had to stop a daycare from force enrolling him. Stephen also complained that 95 members left his church last year, 95 in 1 year, from a church that only had a few hundred to begin with. He didn't mention why they left, just that they're gone, probably because they're all cursed now, or whatever helps him sleep at night, which, given that he's banned from the master bedroom, is probably not very well. Wherever Stephen's mom is, ma'am, you have a 45-year-old toddler who needs serious discipline. Is it too late for a well-deserved timeout? More news on this, probably never. Because I don't think Stephen's mom wants to claim him anymore. Next news, a new character enters the arena, Ben the Baptist. Some of you may already be familiar with Ben the Baptist, known affectionately online as Stephen's lapdog. Ben runs a news segment, and I use the term news loosely when propaganda is right there called the Baptist bias. This week, Ben made a video crying, and I mean literally crying, about persecution, about how we all need to be kind to Stephen Anderson because he's so slandered online. That would be touching if slander wasn't literally all the NIFB does anymore. But Ben wasn't done. Oh no, Ben had a plan. In a desperate attempt to distract from their actual problems, sons in dresses, daughters in ditches, adultery, polygamy, cocaine, steroids, the usual, Ben decided to dig up dirt on the real NIFB parody. And what devastating scandal did Ben uncover? An old Facebook post about accidentally kissing a dog while half asleep and owning a teddy bear as an adult. That's it! That's the scandal! Ben saw a funny, relatable post about someone being half-conscious and making a gross mistake and thought, this is it! This is the distraction we need! He put viewer discretion advised on it and tried to paint this hilariously embarrassing accident as proof that ex-members are into bestiality and possibly gay, right after crying about slander. Right after crying about slander! Self-awareness didn't just die in the NIFB, it was murdered, buried, and they're now doing a victory dance on its grave. The remaining handful of cult members then performed outrage over what was clearly an accident, proving only that they would fail a basic reading comprehension test because the post doesn't say what they claim it says. Their entire movement has become a circus that the whole world is laughing at, and they thought pointing fingers at teddy bears was a winning strategy. Ben, buddy, when you're defending a movement with 80 affairs, steroid abuse, daughters in ditches, and pastors banned from their own bedrooms, maybe the teddy bear isn't the scandal you think it is. Next news, Pastor Shelley doesn't want to be recorded anymore. Pastor Jonathan Shelley, affectionately known as Pastor Sandwich for his theology that women should make sandwiches and shut up, had an announcement this week. He's tired of people recording him, which is unfortunate because people keep recording him saying things like, I'm breaking fellowship with Stephen Anderson, and then watching him later say, I never said that, when the recording of him saying that is all over the internet. Jonathan broke fellowship with Stephen in front of his entire congregation. They said amen when he said Jesus would purge him. It's on video, multiple videos from multiple angles, and yet somehow Jonathan claims he never said it, and anyone who remembers him saying it is a low IQ trash can.
This is gaslighting at a level that would make a psychological thriller jealous. This week, Jonathan also informed his congregation that he's tired of investing in people because his church is basically a revolved pastor sandwich. I wonder why. Maybe people can only take so much of "I never said that" when the recording is literally playing on loop online before they realize they're attending services directed by a satirical character who somehow ended up behind a pulpit. Just a thought, Jonathan. If you don't want to be recorded, maybe stop saying things you'll need to deny later. Revolutionary concept, I know. Folks, this has been the Red Hot Mess Conference, where every week we document a movement that's collapsing faster than a house of cards in a windstorm. This week we learned the Man of God movie is back. Maybe Stephen discovered Bible commentary for all the wrong reasons. Stephen asked, "What's my big sin?" Ben the Baptist thinks teddy bears are the real scandal. Jonathan Shelley doesn't want to be recorded anymore. What will next week bring? More scandals, more hypocrisy, more desperate distractions. Keep your popcorn warm because you know more is coming next week. This has been the Red Hot Mess Conference. I'm Lionel Keros, wishing you a good rest of your morning, America. God bless you and God help the NIFB because clearly no one else can. Next week on the Red Hot Mess Conference, will Stephen discover what self-awareness means? No. Will Josh add another substance to his list? Probably. Will Ben find another teddy bear? God, we hope so. Tune in next Saturday at 7:30 a.m. to find out.